What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So I have a take that may sound somewhat controversial, and I think this is a conversation that has probably crossed the space for everything that we've been looking at regarding Gotham Knights. You see, everyone has given their own opinions to some extent as to how they feel about the gameplay reveal that we got to see just a few days ago, and specifically the 10th of May. I really want to say I appreciate everyone who's also been participating in this channel, and those of you who are just finding the channel, we hope you stick around for these conversations, because sometimes we have some really hot takes and we could use some people with some level-headedness to cool us down a little bit. Today, nonetheless, I wonder if this take is going to, in a sense, stir up some aspects of the conversation that we haven't necessarily spelled out. Should Gotham Knights be delayed again? It's a very interesting, I would say, observation, or it's a very interesting hypothesis to explore. Now, if you were to ask me if Gotham Knights should be delayed, my answer will be heck no. I don't think the game should be delayed. And I think there are a few things that makes me have this reasoning, and I want to point them out in this particular video. Now, yes, we got to see the gameplay. And, you know, in some people's eyes, it was okay. And in some other people's eyes, they basically said it was unimpressive. But here's the one thing that's actually missing from all of this. And I think this is the part of video games these days that really do not necessarily bode well for developers. And that's game feel. You see, you can only see the gameplay in many cases or experience it from, I would say, a video of somebody else having played the game. But you yourself have not necessarily felt the controls, the cameras, and the way the game actually does play. And hence, it's very, very hard, if not impossible, for you to be able to judge to a very accurate extent as to how this game is going to feel to you, if you're going to like the way it plays or you're not going to like the way that it plays. And I think this is something that really has come in with modern gaming, actually using a lot of these different marketing tactics that seem somewhat antithetical to the old school marketing tactics, which I'll explain, that has not necessarily given gamers exactly what it is that they need to be able to make a very strong decision on a video game. Game feel aside though, one thing that I think that many of these video games would need is public demos for everyone. Everyone is able to play the game. Everyone is able to kind of see, feel, or even experience a small cut of what the game will be. And I think this will really, really drive the conversation very differently. You see, one thing that just happened recently in February or January or so, From Software, the team that made Elden Ring, they put out a network test. This network test was kind of selective. They picked out some people who were maybe content creators in the space, and then some people were probably randomly selected after they had signed up to be able to play a network test of Elden Ring. Now, this was like a beta in a sense, and so most of the people who played it, they had some kind of an opinion or a feel for how the game was. You could watch footage of them actually playing it, but it didn't necessarily feel like you were playing the game yourself. Me, I looked at all the footage and all the gameplay, and I said to myself, I don't know. I don't think this game really appeals to me. Well, 230 hours later, I can tell you that I'm actually a huge Elden Ring fan, and I never played this network test. In fact, I didn't even think I would like the game. Come to see that the game is one of the best games that I've ever played. In fact, I put it up there with Arkham games and even the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order game, which I'm actually a huge fan of. And I've actually logged in just as many hours as I have in many other games, and I still have more hours to log in. Who knows? Gotham Knights might turn out to be that game. You see, the gameplay reveal trailer did not do the game justice. In fact, when I made my criticisms, I even made mention of perhaps the person who was at the helm of Red Hood's controls probably did not need to put out that gameplay, or the developers probably needed to have somebody cut and clip some really cool gameplay moments to show everyone in the community, because the impressions are very necessary to strike at the heart of the community. Because once you put that gameplay out, it propagates and it flies through. Everyone has now seen it, and it's hard to unsee it. And even if you get clean gameplay, you're still subject to even a lot of criticism. Like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, the developers, they crunched and crunched until they could get the most clean gameplay in one take, and even afterwards a lot of people still criticized the game and said, well, it had this, it had that, and that comes with the territory. Developers are used to taking criticism on their work. And so what they usually do is they come out there, they put the best work that they can. And if the fans love it, then they've won the hearts of the fans for years to come. And so that's one of the reasons criticisms are very important. But at the same time, there is this side of the conversation that says we don't necessarily have game feel to be able to say if this game should be, in a sense, delayed or not. And I think this is the thing that we're probably facing today. You see, back in the day, a demo of this game would have probably been announced like, oh, look out for a demo on so and so date, and everybody would have something that they were looking forward to better give them an idea as to exactly what the game will be. Presentations don't necessarily 100% show everybody about the game itself. I mean, if you go ahead and look at how many games you must have seen some gameplay trailer of, or maybe some gameplay showcase of, and you probably were not necessarily interested in the game, but then once you picked up the game and started playing the game while it was on sale, you found out that, oh my gosh, this is actually a pretty good game. Another game I can actually iterate in this way too is a Spider-Man game. I saw them, the gameplay trailers looked insane. It was just off the charts. But one thing about me is, as someone who's not necessarily a huge Spider-Man fan, I couldn't necessarily get extremely excited. Plus, I was kind of somewhat jealous that at that time the Spider-Man fans were getting a Spider-Man game and we in the Batman community, we weren't getting anything. But when I played those games, I was very impressed. I was like, wow, it's not like they were showing me some hocus pocus thing on a gameplay trailer. The game actually met the expectations of what it is that we saw and even surpassed it in some extent. So the last thing that would give us the better judgment of all of this, that brings everything to the table, is that if the developers would bring out a gameplay demo, I think they need to do one. They need to make a public one, and one that's probably representative of these scenes that we've seen so far. You know, like the side missions, maybe something where you can run around, do like 1 to 3 side missions. That's about all you need. You don't really need much. And perhaps maybe do one mission, like say the Mr. Freeze mission, where they already showed us that one. That way it removes spoilers and it kind of is available for anybody to kind of get a feel for. Because here's the thing, they're gonna do this gameplay demo showcase anyways. They'll do it for the press, and this is something that many video game companies do anyways. The press goes into some closed door event, they show the press comes out, they share their opinions, but I don't think this is the time to do it. These games are designed for a very specific audience, and I think they know that if they go ahead and, basically track this, it's really going to help their own cause. It's really going to help people rally around them to see the product that they have. But anyways, that's pretty much my thoughts and my opinions about all of this. I really appreciate you guys so much. Thank you very much for watching the video, and hopefully we'll talk very soon. Peace out.